Good morning, everyone. It's me. It is May 14th at 6:24 a.m. I attempted to record this video, I believe, last week, but I wasn't happy with the results, so I'm going to try again. Uh, I know I mentioned that I was going to talk about spiritual surgery and the spirit hospital, and I forgot one of my books that I need. So I hope you're well. I've been doing well in just recovering and recalibrating and dealing with some of the information that, keeps being brought up to me in regards to some individuals that I spent a lot of time following and admiring. And yeah, so we're not going to go there. But just let me go grab this book and then I will continue. Okay, so I got the book I needed. But first, we're going to discuss spiritual surgery, and then I'm going to talk to you and how this relates to alien abduction. Um, and then I'm going to talk to you about the spirit hospital. So let's talk about Travis Walton as my first example. In the last video I attempted to make, I couldn't remember about Travis. I tried to. I even said there's one other thing that I'm forgetting, and it was Travis Walton. So, if you can imagine with me for a moment, most alien abductions will start off where the person is in their bed and they can't move, usually from the neck down. Okay? They're taken from their bed and brought into a craft, usually through what looks like a portal of light, like they just go through the wall, which is another indication of being in the spirit body. Okay? They end up on the ship. Now there's many different cases. So I need to clarify first that this isn't every single case, and there's so many different types of beings, and we will get there. What was I thinking about to discuss that as? Oh, a container. A container, the Greys, and the robot thing. The robot thing, and being math, science, and logic. I forget which one's left and right brained. I always friggin' forget. I think I might be left brained, but I don't remember. I think so. Where the frig was I? Ah, but alien abduction. So yeah, there's so many different types of cases. You know, even with like the types of genetic, some may call it experimentation, but I've always seen it as if maybe, well, there are those. I don't want to get too far into it. Like I said, there's so many different agendas, so many cases. They may be taking genetic materials such as sperm and ovum from males and female humans to mix with their own DNA to create like whatever they are with human beings. It's possible, but I'm trying not to get off track too far. So we usually have a medical type of experimentation going on, it seems, or what it looks like on the outside. But I'm speaking in the case of the spirit body, okay? Like I said, you wake up in your bed. You got to remember, I need to say from the experiences that I've had personally, with lucid dreaming and being in the spirit body, you can't tell. Especially with the experience that happened to me in January 2015. I couldn't tell if I was really there or not. So this is how I'm quite sure of what I'm talking about. Okay? So I'm thinking about this fella. I'm going to talk about a couple of cases. We're going to go back to Travis Walton. But imagine this, that this fella gets taken from his bed. You'll hear cases like this all the time. He can't move from the neck down. They remove him from the bed. In the spirit body, they go through the wall. They're in craft or whatever, wherever he thinks he is. Because it doesn't necessarily mean they're in a craft. Even if they go through the wall, they could be going into another space of reality, like in another dimension, in the unseen realms. You know what I mean? And it may be possible that they can come and almost like a doctor's appointment that you're not aware of. And so that's why there's these like scheduled visits, it seems, and return visits for some people. But for this fella, I remember this story. I heard it not long ago, but I can't remember where it was. I watched so many different videos. I'm trying to find it, but this man was talking about being abducted and that he couldn't move from the neck down. He was on a table, and they had him cut open. And your spirit body is the same as your physical body. It looks the same. You'll have the same organs and whatnot. It's an etheric double. It's your energetic, spiritual double, like. So it is you. Anyway, he has these grays around him. And I don't know which kind. There's so many different ones, right? And he says to them, "You're hurting me. You're hurting me." He's trying to communicate, but he's telling them telepathically. The thing is, when you're in the spirit body, this is why you hear ghost stories where they're speaking, but they're not moving their mouths, because they're telepathic. They have to use their energetic consciousness to project their thoughts and feelings now. They don't have a mouth, or a tongue, or teeth, or a throat, or a voice box. It's gone. No physical flesh left. So they use their energetic thought projection, right? So it's saying to these beings this. And it made me laugh. That's why I'm laughing now, because the being, the gray, looks over him and looks down, just says, "No, we're not." Just like that. "No, we're not." Straight up, logical, true, because they're not. They're not. He's in the spirit body. He just thinks he's feeling pain. The brain can make you think. When you look down, you think you're being cut open. Of course, you're going to panic. It feels real, but so when he said, "No, we're not. You don't feel pain," then the guy stopped feeling pain. Yeah. This is what connected these thoughts for me. There was another time I heard, you can hear a lot of really good stories, regardless of your opinion of Linda Howe. I've heard a lot of good stories on her channel during her investigations and interviews. And I still remember this one where they're talking about soul transference and all this stuff. That's spirit realm stuff. That's the spiritual hierarchy. That's their jobs. These are different job sectors within the spirit realm. So there was another fella who said he also got like a spiritual surgery type of thing, where he was a smoker for a long time, and he had gotten lung cancer, but they removed it. And after he had that experience, his lung cancer healed up. So it has to happen in the spiritual, in the micro, on the inside, in the unseen, in the non-material. before it turns over into the scene, into the material, into the physical. See what I'm saying? It's the micro to the macro. Before I continue, there's something extremely important about all of this. And I've said it before about believing, okay? But I'm going to explain it to you more deeply. So the inner, the micro, is believing without seeing at first. I always, without ever seeing, not even a freaking ghost when I was young. I seen minor instances out of the corner of my eye of those shadow people, but that's like dimensional beings that are blacked out, like a frequency you cannot perceive. You cannot make it out with the light spectrum that we perceive. So it just looks like a black shadow. But they're in a space that's probably parallel to ours, just in another space. I've had that, but I didn't see nothing and experience anything. I could just feel it on the inside. Like I always said, I could feel that there was a group of superheroes, but not like Batman, Spider-Man, and Wonder Woman or whatever. Not like that. Or even the X-Men. Not like that. They were beings that were working, a group of people that were working together to save the world. Okay? The good for the universe. Superheroes. Okay? I knew they were out there. I could feel them. I didn't know what they looked like. I didn't know what they were called. Didn't know where they came from. Didn't matter. I knew they were out there, but I also knew that they knew about me. I've said this before. Okay? So that's the inner and it's first. That's what comes first. You have to believe. It's almost like how they say that about God. If you truly believe, it will come to you on the outside to show you that it's there. Just like sometimes when you're thinking about God and you'll see 3:33 on the clock. Where do you think the idea of clocks came from? The Most High, the divine creator, the number one inventor that puts the idea out into the ethers, into the collective consciousness, and people pick it up. But that's where it comes from. So if clocks come from the divine creator, and you see 3:33 at the moment that you're thinking and in contemplation with God, how is that not a sign that you're being heard? Because 3:33, I believe, means that connection with Source. Pretty sure. That's how it's happened for me anyway. And 3699. Yeah. Yeah. So what comes second is the macro, the outside of you. It's the seeing is believing. Okay? So my seeing is believing was like what happened to me in 2015 with the being of unknown origin, and then in 2017 seeing craft. I couldn't say, because I knew for damn sure then that there was something else out there. No debate at all. And now I knew something I could identify with, even if, most people perceived it as a frightening thing. So that's really, really important that, yeah, that's how it happened for me. Okay? We talked about the lung cancer guy. We talked about, no, we're not. Let's talk about the Greys for a second before we continue. Like I was saying about a container, you gotta remember about, I can't believe we're not past this yet. And this is why I really don't like reptilian racism. Just, that's what I call it. Because people have this tendency to put all beings in the same, all the peas in the pod together, in the groups, and stereotype them and say, oh, well, if you look like this, if you're from here, then you're like this. I have had a whole bunch of different experiences with a shit ton of different unseen entities. Couldn't see them, could only feel their energy. Sometimes I would be able to see them in my inner vision. But it didn't matter. A lot of the times I'd meet them and there would be this curiosity and this, just wanting to know what it's like to be human, to be alive. I think that's one of the reasons why they liked me so much, or they felt comfortable, is because I really didn't have any judgments. It's sad because some of the ones that have been stereotyped were so relieved to find that I had no bad judgments. They can read your thoughts and feelings. I thought things like, wow, what a beautiful color you are. Look at the size of your eyes. Look at your height. You're incredible. Those types of things. Nice things, regardless. Like, wow, you must be very powerful. Look at the size of your hands. Wow, you've got big teeth. Such a shame. I do believe that, and we know this, that it is based upon people's experiences with other individuals. But I mean, how can you not think, well, I've had a bad experience. This is what I deal with racism too. Just because you've had a bad experience with somebody, forgive me, I'm just using one group of people, sorry. Say you've had a bad experience with someone who's black. That should never reflect on the rest of the other peoples. Or like a white person. That's that one person that's that jerk. That shouldn't reflect on others. You wouldn't want that for you. Don't do that to others. Please. It takes away experiences from yourself, too, of getting to truly know other individuals. Especially, you got to remember that they're telepathic. They're going to know what you think and feel about them already. So maybe that's what holds you back from having any kind of experience. Because you're a bit rude and judgmental. It may not be your fault based upon the influences and the things that you've heard about a person. It's just like when, say, somebody comes to you and talks a bunch of shit about me. You know what I mean? That's going to be how you're going to assume I am. In most cases, people are like that. I'm not going to say everybody's like that, but you know what I'm trying to get at? So the point of saying this is that I've had encounters with some of these gray types, but they didn't feel sinister and mean. Some of them felt old, cranky, had enough of things, just like blah, you know, but not necessarily negative, dangerous, or evil, you know? The robot, oh, I hope my video doesn't cut off. The robot thing. So they're very logic, science minded, and what was this? Math, like left brained. I've had to say to them sometimes, and this isn't, it's only been when necessary. It's not like this happens a lot, but over my lifetime, in these spiritual experience and these astral lucid dreams, remember I said that I had two beings holding my spirit body going down that hallway where everybody's going this way and that way. I wrote about this in my book, but I'm going forward. Those were two gray types that had me. I knew this subconsciously, I just couldn't see them. But it's a container. It's almost just like a vessel. So to them, they don't look weird. They look normal. And so what I found is that it very much, if not in every single case, you have to feel. They will, some of them can hide it, but you'll always feel, something's not necessarily right here. You'll always feel it, even if it's the smallest degree, that they just don't give off that frequency. Some of them are quite good at it, okay? And now this isn't just the gray type, this is all types, because you remember, some of them shapeshift into different things. They are elemental beings, so sometimes they'll turn into something that's pleasant to you. It's so vast, it's big, and it's complicated. It's not just one little thing, it's a bunch of things together. So what I found is sometimes like they're very logical and they'll say stuff to me telepathically, like, well, we have to do this because this is wrong. But it's very robotic, insensitive, and straight to the point. But they're not meaning to do it to hurt you purposely. They're just saying what it is. Like, well, you've got this wrong with you. Like, I had an experience, and it's true. I've had difficult points in my journey, especially when I thought that the Asuras were going to come up from underground and like do the calling and all of that. Okay, it was around that point where I had a spiritual experience in the astral lucid spirit body state, where a being came to me that was human looking, and he looked like one of those blonde-haired, blue-eyed, big, stocky fella from like the Federation type, the blue suit, okay? But he was dressed in normal clothing this time. And he straight up just looked at me and said, well, you've gone insane. And I was like, I know. Can we fix it? I swear on my soul, that's what happened. I was like, I know. Can we fix it? And he's like, yeah. And then we did. But they straight up. And the reason why I was thinking about it, like, why would you tell me like that? Like, that's kind of rude. But if he had just digressed and went, blah, I would have went, yeah. Get to the point. So he did. They know you better than you know yourself. Anyway, with these grays, sometimes because they're performing a job, they're like doctors, right? We're going to go into the spirit hospital now. They're like doctors. So they're very logical. They're getting a job done. Oh, no, Travis Walton first. And no one's perfect, okay? Trial and error sometimes. I've seen this with lots and lots of cases. These are my observations, right? Based upon things that I've experienced that I can connect with, okay? So with Travis Walton, when he got out of that truck, if you don't know the story, I wouldn't watch Fire in the Sky. It's very Hollywoodized. I mean, watch it, but know that it's been Hollywoodized. He didn't punch that alien in the face. There was no dead bodies. They very much made it more. But they did capture some of the essence, okay? Because sometimes they are a little bit old and cranky-like. And you just have to deal with it. Like, they're not chit-chatters. They don't see the point of it. But they will sometimes work with you, knowing that you're at this consciousness level. Certain ones, not all of them. But I've had the experience where they're ignoring me and then one comes over because, they're not completely devoid of compassion. Or it's not like they don't understand, because they do. They're very smart. And that's sometimes the problem, is that intelligence kind of, well, they might be a little bit depressed. You know what I mean? It's not nice knowing lots of things, especially because imagine you're having all these humans yelling a bunch of stuff at you energetically in your brain. You can close them off. They will do that sometimes because they just don't want to hear it. But you got to remember, imagine, you know that this person's in the spirit body, you're not really doing anything to them. You're performing a spiritual surgery, maybe they've got a blood clot you need to take care of in the spirit first before it kills them in real life. Who knows? You know what I mean? It probably gets a little irritating. But with Travis Walton, when he ran out of the truck and he got hit with the energetic discharge from the bottom of the ship, okay? Oh, I didn't finish my thought. I've listened to Travis say that he believes they tried to help him and fix him and save his life. But he even said that the Hollywood version, like, it's good, but that's not what happened, okay? Listening to actually what Travis Walton experienced, especially later on in years when he had more time to think about it, that's when. So I've heard him say these things, and I agree that when he got out of the truck and, in that experience and he ran out to see the craft and they hit him accidentally. Because if it was on purpose, they would have been like, oh, well, sucker, see you later. They would have just left him, die. They wouldn't have given a shit. But, I mean, again, it could have been to see if they could, like experimentation. And it could have been that they did it on purpose to see if they could fix it. There's all kinds of options as to what it could be. I wasn't there, I don't know. But let's just go with they hit him accidentally. Like, ooh, oh damn it, we just shocked the hell out of that guy. We fried his energetic and physical nervous system. Let's bring him up. We gotta fix it. And so they do. And it might take a little while. Maybe they haven't done it before. These particular ones. Maybe because of the etherization of the blood in my studies, they can go from being physical to non-physical, to in our dimension to out, to being there 1 minute, not there the next. So if they were in our realm at that time, then it would make sense that they just bring him up into the craft and try to fix him. And it might have been of course, it was a very terrifying experience for Travis, not knowing what was going on, you know? But if you even watch that, he's on the table, they're trying to repair him. So, I mean, they don't really think about, well, give him his clothes back. They just don't think about it. It probably was contaminated, and they would have destroyed it. Maybe. I don't know. But I would assume they just didn't think about it. Nudity to them is not a big deal. They're naked. Straight up. So, I very much got indication that these are workers within the spiritual hierarchy. They're not all going to look blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and blue suits and big boobies. No. They're going to be different. All the creations are different, and like you can go, you're not all going to have one type of person working at a workplace. You're going to have a whole bunch of different types of people working in the workplace. Like with every job there is out there, right? Well, it's the same with the spiritual hierarchy. Now, when we're moving into the spirit hospital now, yeah. So if you don't know what happened to Travis Walton, you can go and listen to information about that. The movie is Fire in the Sky, but like I said, you should go and listen to the source from Travis Walton before you just go and watch a movie. It's the same with the movie Communion with Whitley Strieber, but again, his experiences are mostly spiritual too, and he knows that. Moving on. The Spirit Hospital. And the transitional plane. So first I'm going to bring you to the movie Defending Your Life. When the spirit bodies first get there and you see them arriving on the bus, they're like, because they don't know how to move their bodies. Like sometimes they have to have their arms moved because they don't know what to do. This is representation of being a newly fresh person that's not educated at any of this stuff about the spirit body, and you've just ended up there. You lived your whole life. You have no idea what comes after. You know, maybe you've believed in... No, I'm not going to say anything specifically, but that's how you are. You've passed on. You're in the transitional plane now. And in this film, you can see there's a whole bunch of different people with different jobs there. It really only focuses about the life review part in that, but there's different things you can see about the spirit body, like how I showed you. There's a scene in the spirit realm with Korra from Avatar Korra in my video, I believe about, I can't remember, crap, but I'll link it below. Spirit Korra in the spirit realm. I'll just link the video because you can see, and Uncle Iroh tells her, you can eat whatever you want here and not get fat. And he likes that because he loves eating and he gets fat. Uncle Iroh is one of the best characters probably ever created. Everybody needs an uncle like Iroh, and I know everyone will agree. Everybody wants a dad like Uncle Iroh. Fuck, man, he was so awesome. I know it's a fictional character, but just saying, like, oh, I digressed. In the movie Defending Your Life, you can see them eat, 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 eat. You can eat 12 pies. It's fine. But in this, I'm using it as an example about the spiritual hierarchy and their jobs. Okay? So this would be what the transitional plane is. Now here, this is that book. I'm going to finish reading this book. Sorry, I've digressed all over the place on the channel, but this is the Naked Soul book, Astral Travel and Cosmic Relationships, by Marlene Marie Druhan. And we're going to go over to page 102, where she talks about, hold on, what's it actually called? It's Exploring the Invisible, Etheric Passageways. Hold on. Yeah, Exploring the Invisible. So it's the unseen realms. And it says the vibrational healing realm is in the transitional plane. There's different realms within, like subsections. So defending your life would might be the reunion realm and the discarnate realm, where souls waiting to incarnate and reincarnate receive instruction before physical birth again. So remember they tell them, oh, well, you're going back. Remember that? So there. Yeah, like that. And the reunion realm is where souls fresh from the death experience reside temporarily, the meeting place where soul guides and loved ones are reunited. So possibly like that. But we may also, because it says the vibrational healing realm, which is the spirit hospital. This is where I'm talking about now. Where chakra temples are located. These are little hospitals for different things. The realm of spirit physicians. Realms of healing and rest for those who experience traumatic deaths, but also who are going through traumatic lives. And this is why I was there a lot. This is how I know this. I would go there quite often when I was young, and I found out through this book also what that spinning sensation. First, it would be like a moving back and forth, like you're going in between physical and spiritual, between one world and the next, right? I'd be doing this. And sometimes you could say, well, you were young. Maybe you remember about being swung in a bassinet. Maybe. But it does feel like I'm being on a swing. It actually feels like the sensation of being swung, but you're not actually moving. And then all of a sudden you'll start spinning. But it's not vertigo. It's not dizziness. It doesn't make you feel sick. It's an energetic spin. And it starts top of the head. This is the Mystic's Gateway. That's what it's called. Hold on. I don't know how much time I have on this computer. There's different gateways to, sorry, I can't find it, but it is in here. We will read this book. There are different ways to do this spirit body travel, different types of, like this is the crown chakra, the mystic's gateway. So this is the crown chakra that I was traveling from. And you can also feel a sensation in the third eye too. That would be the activation of pineal gland. And if you don't know, if you go into the middle of your forehead with your finger and then here, if you can envision meeting right in the middle, that's where your pineal gland is. And you can feel it like almost like a bee buzzing, but it's a vibrational thing. Yeah. So, the spirit hospital, I would go there, like I was saying, to receive healing. There were places, of course, that used light, sound, things. There's different places like this. But I would get into, like, it was like a pod. I would lay in it, and then they would close the lid. It was almost like a little uterus on it, honestly. Yeah. And it glowed like that salt lamp back there. Yeah, almost exactly the same as a Himalayan salt lamp. but you're lying in it and it glows and it's warm like a little uterus and it heals you. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Yeah. And they'd be talking and but I just wouldn't be consciously paying attention to them and they put me in the pod. You know, I was so young, I just knew that they were the spirit doctors and it wasn't weird. Sometimes they will disguise themselves to look like actual physicians, even with a mask on their face, just so that it's more comfortable for you. But it still scares the shit out of people because they don't know what's happening to them. But again, this isn't every case, okay? I can't speak for it all because I don't know, I wasn't there. But, okay, the spirit hospital. Oh, there's more to read about it. Okay, the transitional plane. The transitional plane can be considered the second plane, the earth plane being the first, so this is the fourth dimension, the spirit realm. Within this plane, there is the reunion realm, where souls fresh from the death experience reside temporarily. There, a soul is reunited with loved ones and guiding spirits before moving on. Since the event of death takes most souls initially to the transitional plane, okay, this is just going into loved ones passing on. Okay, we're just going to move over to here. Also, within the transitional realm are countless healing centers or temples where you can go when traditional medicine fails. Like, you can go there and request healing, okay? Like, you can go access this place and request healing. Listen, because these centers are filled with spirit physicians who use cosmic sound and color vibration to heal physical, emotional, and spiritual illnesses. It was here where I went to seek help for a lifelong stomach ailment. After 4 or so journeys to these temples, I was physically blessed with a healing that was nothing short of a spiritual miracle. But again, it goes about believing too, right? For yourself, you need to believe that you can be healed. However, sometimes we are supposed to experience certain things, including health problems, and it is not always possible that we can be gifted with a healing. I have other physical ailments I have tried to resolve, both in the physical world and the invisible worlds, to no avail. If you do decide to seek spiritual help there, do so with great faith. See? It's just like how they say about God and religion, about believing and seeing and all that, and having faith in your heart. Same thing. If you are healed, then it is a blessing to always cherish. If not, try to understand that your physical illness is still needed for certain lessons. Overall, subplanes included, the transitional plane is not heaven, as so many people believe when they go there during near-death experiences. Heaven, or the afterlife, is all of the planes, subplanes, and realms that are of the light. So the 7 heavens, yes? 7 dimensions up, 7 dimensions down. That's how it reflects out into the Vedas and stuff like that. 7. And there is 7 planes. Here, it has named them. So it goes the earth plane, and then there's subplanes within that. The transitional plane, the plane of creativity, the plane of pure thought, the plane of being, the plane of energy, and the plane of the unknown, which would be like with Claudio Nocelli, the celestial lands, or the lands of the unknown where the Anunnaki can't get in. That's the source of all. Oop, there goes the tarot card that I used to mark that page. But it's plane of the unknown. That's why nobody knows what's in there. That's how Claudio represented it, okay? Did I read? Okay, so there's 7 of them, 7 dimensions. Hold on, I gotta go back to the page. Sorry. Oh, I think I read it. Uh, oh, no, I didn't. I didn't finish reading. Not heaven. Oh, is all of the planes, subplanes, and realms that are of the light. Right, that's the heaven. Each has its own world within worlds, its function, its inhabitants, and its beauty. In a way, there are many heavens, like the many mansions in our Father's house. The transitional realm, unlike the finer planes following it, has its own cycles of day and night that mirror the earth plane. Beautiful sunrises, sunsets, summer twilights, and moonlit nights can all be witnessed within this plane. There is so much to explore here, but as you travel to higher realms, you'll find yourself continuously amazed at the intensity of beauty, color, and sound. There are realms so fine and brilliant that you would be crushed if you were unable to enter them. This is why the highest of the realms cannot always be found. But those planes that are accessible have infinite nooks and crannies of breathtaking beauty. And then she goes on to say, let's take a look at them. So I hope that gives you an idea of what the Spirit Hospital really is, and that it is accessible to everyone, and you've probably been there. In fact, I hear cases of people talking about this all the time. They're just not aware. You may think you've been abducted when really you've just had a spiritual surgery with these helpers and doctors, physicians, scientists of the spirit realm. They are the workers of the spiritual hierarchy. So I just hope that me sharing this perspective with you and my experiences with it. I mean, I was just there the other night and I needed to go. And they're like, fuck, you're sick. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's that's all that went. I mean, they don't judge you for it. It's just how it is, and they do their job. Just like when you go to the doctor, oh, you've broken your arm. Oh, damn. Well, let's fix it. You know what I mean? What is he gonna be? Give you maybe sometimes you get if you climbed a tree and you fell out when you're 12 years old, maybe the doctor's gonna scold you for doing stupid shit. But other than that, you know, I get so overwhelmed. I mean, if you were in my last live stream, that's when it happened. Clearly, I needed some help at that time. And I was really praying for it. I mean, I cried out, put my hand out and everything. And it came. Help came in different ways and especially unexpected ways, you know? So, yeah, I think I've covered everything. Wow, this worked out really well. The Greys, yeah. So it's not only that they're evil. And I made a video yesterday. I didn't mean for it to be scary. I used AI to create a song about alien abduction. It was supposed to be funny. It turned out creepy as hell, I guess. And I know it's not a funny thing because this is very terrifying for a lot of people and it causes them some traumatic experience, you know, but I was trying to take it in a lighthearted type of way, and I think that it's funny that the AI can do this, so forgive me if it frightens you or offends you in some way. I don't mean to, you know? But anyway, I hope you have a good day. I I have some things to do today that I look forward to, and I will talk with you again soon. Um, until then, take care of yourself, be well, and believe. Because I always get these screwed up. Believing without seeing is first, and then seeing is believing is second. It will come into your reality. It will. When when I did that, when I did, I call it a CE5 thing. At the time of my life when that happened, I was just past the point of learning from Stephen Greer. What he was teaching in his little meditation things didn't do much for me. Like it never worked. Like his CE5 protocols didn't work. But I will tell you that during that experience, all I did when I knelt down, it wasn't something that I consciously thought about doing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to try to bring one here. No, 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 no. I knelt down and all I said, and I was really talking to God, to Divine Creator, to Source. I said, oh, I was going to light my cigarette, so I'll have to do it the way I do it every time. I don't smoke anymore. But I knelt down out of the wind, and as I was kneeling down, I'll never forget, I go, oh, I really wish a craft would show up so that I could prove to my friend that I'm not crazy. And it was a genuine, heartfelt, true thing. It wasn't in depression or desperate. It was really meant. I was alone in all of this, and it was a true request. And then out of the corner of my eye, pop! That's what happened. Like they heard me, like in a frequency, like a radio signal. Someone. And that all it was a one that was bigger than the stars. A bright light that's like a star, but bigger. And it went right across the sky, stopped, made correction course, and kept the fuck going. My friend was like, the entire time. I went, look! Yeah. So I really hope that helps you. Okay? All right. I have to go get ready for my day now. Take care. Talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye! Oh, it's Marvin's birthday today. Totally forgot. Wish little Mar happy birthday. Okay, she's 1 year old. Bye! I don't know where she's at right now. I think she's in the bedroom. Okay, take care.